During and after the presidential election, Mr. President, thousands of opposition supporters and journalists were arrested, badly beaten and tortured. One woman, 27-year-old Neda, as you know, was shot to death while protesting, and her death was captured on a cell phone camera. Here is a shot of that cell phone picture, which I'm sure you've seen, correct? What would you say to her family?
We are very sorry that one of our fellow citizens has been killed as a victim of an agitational circumstance, an agitation that was carried out with the support of some American politicians, the Voice of America, and the BBC that actually promoted these agitations.
Do you really think so little of your citizens that they can be manipulated and brainwashed by Americans and the UK?
No, that is not what I'm saying. But I do say that some agitations from outside were there. I mean, there are plentiful documents pointing to that. Regrettably, one of our citizens lost her life.
One?
No, well, I'm referring to the picture that you showed, the person that we were talking about, but over 30 people had lost their lives, and as a result of the situation after the elections, and our judiciary is actually looking at the cases now. I'm confident that the perpetrators of those acts will be punished. Ms. Neda Agha Sultan was killed in the midst of a chaos. Do you know this picture?
No.
Do you know her?
No.
Well, rightfully so. Because American politicians do not want American people to see what goes on around the world. She's a lady, a mother, who lived in Germany. Somebody attacks her. She goes to the court along with her child and husband to complain. The person who attacked her so he goes to the court, which is supposed to be the safest place, attacks this woman and kills her with 20 stabs of a knife in front of the court in a place that's supposed to be a safe haven for everyone. And where her husband tries to protect her, the police actually shoot at her husband in Germany. Just 2 months ago, after Ms. Neda Agha Sultan was killed. And you're telling me you didn't hear this story? The question I want to ask the U.S. media is, why is it that you were not informed about this event? What are the hands in the world that actually talk about Neda Agha Sultan and turn it into the #1 issue in the world? And we, I have to say, are very concerned about the loss of her life as well, but at the same time forgets about other forms of loss of life, like this woman here. I mean, it's exactly the same policies and approaches that I spoke about early on in our interview that need to change. If we want law, it has to be for everyone. It has to apply to everyone. Now, just because this happened in Germany, and Germany happens to be an ally of the United States, doesn't mean that the law doesn't apply to them, or just simply because Germany belongs to the capitalist bloc.
Mr. President, 3 months after the protests, hundreds remain jailed and continue to be tortured solely for their dissenting political views. Isn't this, or doesn't this overt abuse of human rights discredit you within the international community?
How do you know that they were tortured?
Well, we've read testimonies from families whose loved ones were jailed and beaten. There are accounts from fellow journalists who were arrested and beaten. A member of your own parliament confirmed that a number of young people died at a prison holding protesters. The head of that prison was fired, and the documented case of the son of a political advisor who died in prison after being severely beaten. This is how we're aware of this.
In Iran, the judiciary is an independent body. It does not make decisions based on political circumstances, nor does it make decisions based on propaganda. It makes decisions based on the framework of law.
So you refute this?
Yes, the way it's said here. No, it's not the way you said. There were certain officials that violated the law, and the judiciary is looking into it, and they will be punished. Anyone who violates the law should be punished. It doesn't matter who it is.
Violating the law by protesting?
Yes. If the protests are illegal, that can apply to them. The law does apply to them. We have a law in our country, you know. On a daily basis, the number of people who are killed in the United States by the police exceed those who were killed throughout the protests in Iran post-elections. Just take a look across the country and you'll find higher figures.
Finally, Mr. President, last night in an interview with the Associated Press, you backed off your claims denying the Holocaust ever happened, but as recently as last week, you said the Holocaust was false, a lie based on an unprovable and mythical claim. Are you now admitting that the Holocaust, in fact, did happen?
Well, if we want to just say a myth or a story, there are three definitions for what it is. I'd like to give you the three definitions, and you